Okay, now that we understand what the problem is and why it might be happening, let's see what we can do about it. Okay. So we are gonna be going over the disobedience tip sheet because that is something that you mentioned having a difficult time with. In the tip sheet, actually let me go back and check with you, what are some of your goals in addressing in your child's behavior?
So I would just like Sam to listen and follow directions and be compliant when I ask him to be, because that seems to be a big issue. He just doesn't follow the instructions when I give them to him.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So the tip sheet that I'm going to be providing you is going to address some of those behavior problems. As you can see, we're going to be covering disobedience, and it is for toddlers. And one of the things that it covers is why are children disobedient, how to help prevent disobedience, and how to teach your child limits. And on the back side, it also includes how to manage disobedience. So these interventions give you information on how to address specific problems and how to help you out with those problems. So I want you to look at how to teach your child limits and how to manage disobedience. When you're looking at those, think of some of the problems that you're having with Sam and things that you can use to help address those behavior problems. So go ahead and choose two to three interventions that you want to practice with him. So as soon as you choose 2 to 3, you can go ahead and write it down on this parenting plan checklist. Okay, awesome. I see that you've chosen 2 or 3 interventions that you want to use. Which ones were the ones you chose?
So the first one I chose was say no in a firm, calm voice. The second one was tell your child what to do. And I picked a third one, which was backup instruction with a logical consequence.
Okay, awesome. So now we're going to go over on when would you use it and how would you use it. So in the first one, say no in a firm, calm voice. What would you say, or when would you use that intervention?
Probably I would say when he's hitting his sister with the toys, I can say no in a firm, calm voice. Please don't hit your sister with the toys.
Okay, yeah, that's an awesome example, and that's a perfect time to be able to use that intervention. Okay, and for the second one, tell your child what to do. When would you use that? What is something that he's currently doing right now that you feel that that's a good time to use that intervention?
I think sometimes when we're having dinner, he runs out of his chair.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be a good example in telling him what to do. Please don't get out of your chair during lunchtime.
Okay, that's an awesome example of when to use that intervention. You're telling him to not get out of his chair. So awesome. Okay, and now for the third one, backup instructions with a logical consequence. What would you say to him?
So sometimes he plays with his blocks really aggressively and like bangs them. So I think maybe I can use that and implement a logical consequence. So maybe I can say, please, you've been playing with your toys aggressively, so now I'm going to take them away for 5 minutes.
Okay, so awesome. Yeah, the removing any toys for 5 minutes is a logical consequence. So that's a great example that you gave. Okay, so you're giving some real life examples that you're experiencing difficulty at home. So now that you're able to tell me how to use this plan, so it'll probably be a little bit easier once you implement it at home. Okay, if you have any notes that you might want to write down so you make sure that you follow those instructions, you can go ahead and mark them or write it down. That way so you don't forget. But you can also always refer back to the tip sheet. If you do get stuck in anything and you forget, like, oh, when do I use this or how can I use this, you can always refer back to the tip sheet and just kind of repeat what it says there, and that will help you in implementing them. How do you feel about using these interventions at home with your child, with Sam?
I feel like they're pretty easy to follow. I think once I get into a habit of using them, it will become more easy for me to use them in the long run.
Yes. So yes, it is going to be a challenge just to kind of get it started. But once you start using them and you see that it works, you see the results, then that's going to prompt you to kind of like automatically keep using them because you see the changes in their behaviors. Okay, do you have any questions on using the checklist or the parenting plan checklist?
At the moment, I don't.
Okay, so then I would just need you to mark down in each day of the week whether you use that intervention. You would just simply write yes or no for that day. So next week when you come in, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be asking you for whether you were able to implement the parenting plan, and then just kind of follow up on you. Were there any difficulties that you had or anything that you felt stuck in? So once we review it, then we can make adjustments to it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so then thank you for coming in, and I'll see you next week the same time.
Thank you.